Evening, everyone. This is Julie Hedges, and welcome to another cosmic conversation, courtesy of Star Nations Network. And I'm coming to you live from Indiana, and we're going to talk about changes tonight and listening for the changes in your life and listening to the changes that are happening around you. And I have a beautiful friend who I asked to be part of the program tonight, who I know has a lot to share about changes and how to really develop and understand and go with the flow in our changes. And one thing I'd like to start out by saying is that we are simulcasting tonight. I'm really excited about that. And we've got Rob producing behind the scenes. So you can talk to us on Facebook on the Cosmic Conversations page and write your notes. I see lots of people starting to come into the chat room, and then also on YouTube Live. So come on in to the chat room there. And I'd love to go ahead and introduce my special guest, Maureen Mann of Angel Therapy. She is a Star Nations show host and contributing writer. If our wonderful producer can show Maureen into the live stream, that would be wonderful. Hi
there. Hi, Julie.
I'm so excited to have you on tonight. I knew as this topic was developing that I know the person that I really would like to talk to about this, and that is Maureen Mann. So while everyone is coming on in and gathering around, because we're going to have a good, deep, and fulfilling conversation about changes, I'm going to ask anyone who feels it on their heart to maybe share it on their personal page or in a group page that allows videos, because we're going to talk about initiating changes and also being in the flow of when change just happens and you gotta roll with it. How do we kind of navigate those? So it's a pretty meaty topic that we're going to discuss tonight. So I'm going to take a moment and share it as well. So just give me, I gotta get to this here. And I'm going to share the show over to my, let's see here. I'd like to, oh, sorry. Over to the Tarot Journey page too, because that is still an active page for my book. So I'm sending it there as well. Got lots of fans everywhere. Okay, I think I did it. Yay! Yeah, says successfully shared. Woohoo! Terrific. Oh, welcome, Maureen. Thank you for accepting my invitation. I'm really excited to have you on here online tonight. The Angel Therapy show host and contributing writer. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here. I love chatting with you. And I love the idea we get to chat in this format.
So I wanted to really start off talking about changes tonight. And I'm going to just say one of the most obvious changes we have is your sassy new look. The hairdo, the lips, everything. So you've had some change recently. Can you tell us a little bit? Well, first, if you would like a more robust introduction, please feel free to take this time to do that. And then tell us about this change that you've undergone recently.
Sure.
Okay.
So last winter, I feel disoriented with the way time has progressed in 2020. But I had the idea that I wanted to make a change. And then being in quarantine allowed me to really reflect on that. And I decided I just wanted to embrace my natural hair color. So in the middle of March, my hair was down to here. And then quarantine, it got shorter and shorter because I was cutting it myself. And then I decided, you know what? As soon as I can, I'm going to cut it all off and go back to the pixie, which I had 20 years ago.
Wow.
And thanks to my conversation with you, I was able to understand that that makes sense in terms of going through cycles of change in terms of
yes.
my astrological chart. And so I got this major haircut right around the time of my birthday, which was last week. So I decided to be bold, to be confident, and just to embrace change of my look, change with a new birthday, a milestone birthday. I turned 50.
Yeah.
So
awesome.
I've never been one to shy away from change.
Great. So let's start there. A couple things. Yes, I had the privilege of talking with you about this. And when you said, I'm thinking about making this change, and I had a similar style 20 years ago, the antenna went up, and, like my astrological antenna is like, oh, it's so timely because we are just going through another change of big cycle starting in May. So I was like, yep, you're right on time. Right on time, embracing this change here. And specifically for those who are interested, that is the nodes changing signs. So what does that mean? Just a quick astrological tutorial. So the Earth has her own orbit around the sun, and the moon has the orbit around Earth. So at the point where those two orbits meet, that is called the node, Node. So it's not a planet, it's a place in space where two roads converge in this orbit. And when they do, that's the reason why we have the eclipses, because the sun, moon, and Earth get to line up because of those nodes and the way all the geometry and all of that good sorts of stuff. So in May, we had this major change from more of a reflective, internal, sensitive, intuitive mode of the node into this curious, exploratory, really moving and agile and flexible mode of the node. So no wonder, there was just like, ooh, I'm feeling this little grooviness that I'm going to go out into the world and change my hair, change my look, change the way I interact with my local community. So I love that.
Thanks.
So one thing you just said is that you have never shied away from change. And I think that's wonderful. Me, on the other hand, I'm very much an earth sign, and I like things to be just so. And even though I've learned to develop this skill a little bit, I like things more to be the way I want them to be.
I understand.
So for some of us out here, how is that something that's innate in you, or did you develop that over your lifetime, this ability to just change and be okay with it?
I would say it's both, because I definitely have the desire, like you, to have things just so and to be in a rhythm and be in a routine. But I guess I've always had strong intuition that has led me to change. And what I've come to understand is it's much easier if I say yes to the changes when they're being introduced than to resist them.
Ah, yes.
But sometimes it was just a knowing. Like I knew, for example, when I was graduating from college in Massachusetts, that I wanted to live on the West Coast.
Oh.
So I moved to California. And I was led to the perfect jobs at nonprofit agencies that led me to knowing what I wanted to do for graduate school. So it's been wonderful being alongside my intuition for the ride of my life.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'd like to maybe do some shout outs to folks who are in the chat room and ask them what is their relationship with change. I mean, I love what you just shared, that you've listened to your intuition and it led you to from one coast to another coast. I mean, Massachusetts is pretty east coast here to way out west, and just really feeling the momentum of going with those changes. I love that. So who is in the chat room? Rob?
My glass is back on.
Okay. Oh, Lisa's saying there is an echo. Maybe, okay, it's better now. Good, good, good. Maybe as we were just getting started with the simulcasting. Greetings from YouTube. Thank you, Rob. Yes, we are simulcasting. And hi, Rochelle. Thank you for being on tonight, and appreciate everyone for, yay, here I am. Greetings from Facebook. To discuss change and how you really work with change and how you listen to your changes. And I see who else is in here. Hi, Neshi. Thanks for dropping by tonight. I know you can share some things about change. She's loving and sharing the show. Lots of great info. Thank you, Neshi. Appreciate it. Thank you, Rochelle. Shared and grounded. Oh, that's always good. Yes, grounding. And thank you, Neshi, for always reminding us to ground. That's good. Hi, Martha. Thanks for dropping by. I appreciate it. Wonderful to have you. Hello, friends. Hi, Carol. Thanks for dropping in. Good to see you tonight. Violet, thank you for coming on. And Violet is the one who creates these wonderful soaps and deodorants and toothpaste with all natural ingredients and essential oils. So I am anticipating some things coming my way very soon. So can't wait to get those and try them. Thank you, Violet. Oh, yes, Neshi. She said, I just had a node reading with Julie. Fascinating and helpful information. Yes, thank you, Neshi. I appreciate that. When that crossroad in the sky moves around, it ignites something in all of us across planet Earth. So our consciousness is being directed to, our consciousness is being changed to, oh, here's a new lesson and a new way for us to interact with one another and to grow. And we have been invited to this time of 18 months to really work on our curiosity and how we think and learn and communicate and how agile we are and nimble and flexible in the world. And speaking of flexible, one thing I wanted to ask you is, I know that you used to be a principal at a school.
Mm-hmm.
And now you are angel therapy and really working side by side with your intuition on a day-to-day basis. And I'm going to say that I used to be an English teacher, high school English teacher. So I kind of know how schools operate, and the whole angels and intuition just didn't quite really go along with my English teaching background. So can you share a little bit about how the angels worked with you as an assistant principal, and then that change into angel therapy and what you do now?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
I'd love to. So I have been working with the angels for many years, and they actually got me through my years as an assistant principal, because it was a very challenging job. It was a school where there were 500 students, K through 5, and about 65 to 70 staff members. And I would ask Archangel Michael to vacuum out the energy of the school every day.
Oh.
And then to fill the school with healing energy. And I would call on the angels and say, let all of the students and staff be their best today for one another.
Oh.
And we, at the elementary school where I worked, we had the behavior program for the district when I first started. So we had kids that had challenges with emotional and behavioral issues.
Okay.
And so I was often called to be an observer when the kids needed particularly intensive intervention. And so what I would do is, when the kids were escalated and out of control, is I would surround them in light blue light, and I would call on the angels to be there. And it was amazing how much quicker the kids started to de-escalate, with, of course, the assistance of the staff that was working with them too. But it got to the point that the staff would look at me and they'd say, "You're doing that thing, aren't you?"
Oh.
Because the kids would calm down so well. And then the staff started noticing, when they would come into my office, that my office had a particularly relaxing feel. So the staff would come just for a respite in my office sometimes. And then even the little kids that I had to discipline, they would say, "Miss Mann, can I come to your office at recess?" Because they liked the feel, because I would have the angels with me all day.
Wow.
So it was a beautiful healing experience to be able to offer that. And I heard that after I left, that the school started to feel quite different, because it wasn't getting the energetic reset with the angels' help every day.
Yeah.
So the way that I segued out was, I had started doing a part-time private practice. And then when my son was in 4th grade, he was blinded by a laser pointer.
Oh.
Both of his eyes. So he had no vision in his retinas. Was learning Braille, had a one-on-one in school. So I called on the angels very intensively and did energy healing for him very intensively for the first 6 months after his accident, and then continuing. And his doctors, he's now going to be a senior in high school, and his doctors in Boston have said that his recovery is a miracle.
Oh, wow.
He's gotten enough of his vision back that he is now going to be able to drive, and he's in classes independently. And so between the work with the angels and the energy healing that I do as part of my practice, I thought to myself, I have to do this for other people. If I know the miraculous effects that the angels and healing can bring to the world, then that's my calling. And so I took a huge leap of faith to leave a very, to leave that job in a school system and all the benefits that come with it. And I started my practice, and it was the best decision I've ever made.
Awesome. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Now, I have not heard that story about your son, so I am very honored that you would share that on the show tonight and share it with us. I really, really appreciate that.
You're welcome.
And that's one of my questions on my list of how do you help people navigate changes? And I would say, right there, that's an example of how you help people navigate changes. So using the energetic healing and the angels. And I love how you shared that this was a miraculous recovery, really, of his eyesight. But how much of a, how do I want to say this, a work was it? How long of a process was it with working with him emotionally, physically, mentally, energetically to enact this change? It probably wasn't from Friday to Monday.
No.
Or was it? Okay.
No, it wasn't. It was over the course of, I would say, years, over a few years. But he had enough initial healing in the first couple of years for me to know that there was something more than just the limited healing that they told us would happen. He went beyond that even in the first 6 months, in the first year. So I think a big way that I help people make transformative change in their life is I have a social work background, so I have my master's in social work. So I have a helpful foundation in counseling and validating people's experiences through every phase of change, from the initial, if it's precipitated by a trauma or just an urge, just an intuitive urge to change, and the ambivalent feelings that can come up there. I think it's really important for people to feel supported wherever they are and to normalize their experience and to allow people to go at their own pace. Because there are, like you being an earth signs move at a slower pace than someone, say, who's a fire sign.
Yes.
And I'm a water sign. So when I go through change, there's a lot of emotions. There's a lot of tears. And so just knowing people energetically and knowing their emotional constitution and being able to connect with the angels to see who this soul is and what they really want, then it helps me dismantle the fear that gets in the way. Whether it's fear, limiting beliefs, past traumas, able to just clear all that away so that people can then step forward and shine.
Awesome. Wow. Thank you.
You're
so
welcome.
I would like to maybe pull up some more comments, see where we are in the scroll, and see what changes people have been working through and navigating in this time of our social distancing. She says, the ride of my life. I love that. Yes. Maureen, you took the ride of your life, didn't you? So tell me, did you drive cross country with all your belongings, or did you just leave it all behind and say, hey, I'm just going to head out there and see what happens?
I flew. So I was part of a program, Jesuit Volunteer Corps. It's like a domestic Peace Corps program.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. On a jet plane. Awesome.
On a jet plane. Yep. Didn't know anybody out there. Just said yes to it.
Woo. All righty. What else do we have? Lisa is in the ebb and flow of change. I love it. And Lisa, if you could share what your astrological sign is. Any better yet, if you know if you are a water sign, an earth sign, an air sign, or whatnot. That would be great. Thanks, Lisa. Carol says, I'm a Piscean woman, so it seems like change is my middle name. Yes, you are like that gentle ocean that undergoes all kinds of changes, depth and temperature and seasonal storms and everything. So, yep, definitely. What else do we have? Yes, I do too. Neshi says, I love Violet's Organic Herbals. That is her business name. So thank you for sharing that. I had forgotten that. The mode of the node, road to my abode. Okay, that must be Rob.
I was going to say, that sounds like a Rob.
With his tongue twisters. I love it. Mode of the node. Thank you, Neshi, for sharing that. Shift the load when the road hits a node. You have to do that. You have to do that because you could get unbalanced and you got to get reconfigurated. These are all so good. I love it. Thank you, Carol. Maureen was a principal and Julie was a teacher. Yes, I taught high school English and I taught high school English, freshmen through seniors. And on my third year of teaching, I said, I'm telling all these kids that in the real world, you're going to need X, Y, and Z. And after enough of them were saying, well, really kind of not believing me, I thought, maybe I should see if this is really what it's like in the real world. And so then I made a big change. Yeah.
Good for you.
At the end of the year, I said, okay, I'm going to do something else. So that I took the whole summer and looking online. Well, it was online then still, and resumes, and found something else. I went into sales and for a few years, and now I still have what you would call a 9 to 5, and I am using my gifts that I learned at university because I do writing all day long. So I have to write and deliver presentations and those kinds of things. So I'm still doing my English, just in a different capacity. And the way I'm using my teaching now is teaching sacred spiritual disciplines and helping people to encourage and discover their gifts and deepen their skills. So that's what I do. So thank you there for that comment. Jean Campbell Kibble, is that one of your friends?
She's my cousin.
Oh, yay, welcome. Thank you for jumping on Cosmic Conversations tonight. Appreciate it. Oh, Lisa says the biggest change this month was her best friend's mom had passed. And now she's waiting for the next piece. The next piece. Thank you for sharing that heart, that sensitive topic. We appreciate that. Yeah. That kind of change. So let's stop there for just a second. So that's a good segue into this question, Maureen. So you've shared you have a counseling background. Well, an assistant principal, isn't that like the complaint department of the school?
It absolutely is. I was a human complaint box.
Oh, gosh. But still able to make everybody feel better when they come into the office with surrounding them with the angelic light and just your personality. You're so warm and engaging, and just you can talk to anybody, I'm sure.
I do I do okay. It was definitely a challenge for me of a position, to be in that public of a position.
Mm-hmm. So I'm sure when you say you had kids who were challenged with behavioral and emotional issues, I imagine that some of them had come from difficult circumstances or difficult
Mm-hmm.
home situations. And so stories of people passing on or
Mm-hmm.
other challenging types of things were maybe a daily occurrence for you.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing I really like what you said is that you are affirming of people wherever they are in whatever stage of healing or development that they are in.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe this is too big of a question, but working with the angels in your angel therapy practice that you do now, how do you help someone who is navigating that place of, well, now what? My best friend's mom just passed. Where am I? What do I do? What's next? How do I pick up the pieces? Or how do I help my friend pick up the pieces? Where do I fit? What's going on?
Mm-hmm. So I guess in terms of the angels that I would call on for a
Okay.
session like that would be Archangel Raphael and Archangel Azrael, because Raphael is the angel of healing and Azrael is the counselor angel who works with souls that are crossing over.
Okay.
And so just bringing their energy into the space would help anyone who's coping with grief, whether direct grief or wanting to support a friend or a loved one through their grief. And again, to normalize, these questions are big questions, and there's a lot of big feelings with those questions, and that you don't have to sort them all out right away. Just being present is such a gift, and holding space is such a gift for someone who's going through grief. And you following your intuition in terms of what do you think would be helpful. Some days it might be dropping something off. Some days it might just be a prayer. Some days it might be, let me do this act of service for you. And to know that it's going to take time, and to help people be comfortable sitting in those really heavy feelings sometimes, that there's nothing wrong with that, that the heart breaks open because of the love that was in the relationship. And you want to honor that and not rush through that.
Oh, beautiful. So those are all really practical, good ways of navigating through major losses.
Mm-hmm.
So Lisa, I hope that might be of some service to you. I just think that was a beautiful answer that everyone who's watching right now, participating online in YouTube, and even watching the archives can take that and grab that and go. Thank you, Maureen. I really, really appreciate that.
You're welcome. I hope
Rob,
it helps, Lisa.
yeah. Rob, what else do we have? Oh, Maureen, what is I'm going to intuit that she wants to know what her website is. So we can, all right. What is your website so that our watchers our viewers can get a hold of you for personal sessions? And I want to vouch for Maureen's work with the angels. I have had sessions with her and the angels. Very powerful, very practical, very real in terms of delivery of what I can use right now to help in situations and ongoing. So if Rob might be able to put that on screen for us, what is that for us, please, Maureen?
It is maureenmann.com.
There we go. Okay, he's already on it.
Thanks, Rob.
He knew right there. So everybody, if you can flash that up there again, that'd be great. MaureenMann.com. So getting on there and going ahead and looking at her sessions. And you have a schedule on there as well, or do you ask people to message you to actually set up the time?
There's a link to my scheduling app.
Okay, great.
So people can book an appointment for a time that's convenient for them.
Awesome. So go on there, get your session chosen, and then schedule it right then and there. And it'll pop up on her calendar, and you guys will just hit it off with the angels.
Yes. So, I look forward to it.
Yay! Yay. Thank you, Rob. Who's next? Oh, yes. Carol says, thank you for sharing the information about your experience in school and with your son, Maureen.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
You really did honor us when you shared that story.
Well, I love sharing miracles, and it was this is my mom that has a light heart. So she's watching about her grandson and sharing love. So yeah, it was an intense experience, but it was a beautiful healing experience, being able to meet some incredible medical professionals and Jake's educators throughout his schooling have just been so kind and wonderful to him. So again, in the midst of tragedy, there's a lot. If you look for the angels, they're there.
I love that. I remember, I think it was Fred Rogers, Mr. Rogers' neighborhood. He's attributed to this quote. I believe it is. It's when, how does it go? I hope I don't mess this up. When tragedy is afoot, we'll say, or problems out in the world, his mom would always say, look for those who are the helpers. There will always be helpers.
Yes.
And it kind of sounds like that with the angels too, that no matter what we encounter, the angels are there to help us.
They are.
Awesome. Thank you, Maureen's mom. And the light heart. Yay. So honored to have her watching this evening.
Me too.
Oh, Lisa's a Pisces. There you go. Okay. So another water sign, that deep oceanic Mer person, Mer lady, Mer energy. Awesome. Thank you, Lisa. What else? Violet is a Libra, air sign, all about balance and harmony. Good, good. Thank you. Next. Carol says, I changed the color palette in my home from blue, green, purple, watery colors to orange, yellow, and reds to boost my energy. It worked. She transformed her outlook. Awesome. Probably also your productivity as well. And she started wearing orange and red and yellow and felt the shift in herself. So she's alive. Yay. So I like that about changing your look. So when you saw in the mirror, I'm going to ask you, Maureen, when you saw in the mirror, it's like, this is it. This is my brand new hair. What were your initial reactions? What was your feeling when you saw, this is me now?
It was exciting. But it was also, because I had done it 20 years ago, I don't look the same as I did the last time I had this haircut. Oh. There's a lot more gray. So I was joking saying, okay, I kind of look like a camouflage Jamie Lee Curtis. Because I have like 3 different colors going on. So I knew, and because I've been through so many changes, I had to breathe through it. I said, okay, this is new. It's going to take me a few days. I do like it, but it took me a while to really embrace it.
Okay.
So
I'm glad you said that. And we have Kitty in the background.
yes, I'm sorry about that.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. Affirming, hey, these changes and wow, it looks so good.
Let me get the my water squirter to quiet her.
Hey, that's perfect. Oh yeah, Rob says meow, mama. I love it. I'm surprised. I think mine went to lay down, but right before the broadcast, everyone, this is behind the scenes, footage that mine was right behind the camera, and I thought for sure she's gonna just walk right across my keyboard. So I think she went to lay down. I like what you said there about having to take a few days for it to really kind of settle into your system.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to share kind of a personal change that happened for me just yesterday. So I'm wearing my moonstone tonight. There we go. Because it's the new moon in Cancer. Today, brand new moon. So new possibilities, new intentions. So yesterday was the final hours of what they call the balsamic moon. And that's where you are just releasing everything from the previous cycle. And I have some housework going on, namely a ceiling fan put in the bedroom, replacing this old rickety one that was a bazillion, quadrillion years old. And this one is new and snazzy. And so I wanted, to make sure that the rest of the bedroom was snazzy. So I did some good cleaning, and I found some old journals that I had gotten rid of some before a couple weeks ago, and was like, oh, here's some more. I gotta take care of this on the balsamic moon before the new moon. So yesterday I took those journal pages and I did a burn ceremony, because that's how I like to alchemize those changes of, okay, I'm done with this, just totally chemically change it and then start with a new. So I go to the park and I do my sacred space and do the burning. And as I am driving back, I mean, literally just did the burning, I am, boom, rear-ended at a stop sign. Yeah. So it's like, oh, the irony, right? It's like I burn the past, but it comes up to, give me a nudge. And so I've, talked to insurance companies today, and I have no idea what the physical cost is going to be of it. The insurance is going to take care of that. Not hurt. The other person wasn't hurt, but it's like, okay, what's the lesson here?
Mm-hmm.
So when we are going through changes, even changes that we initiate ourselves, like for instance, me purposefully burning those journal pages, you purposefully changing your sassy new hair, which I love, then boom, I get boom, bang. You get a kind of a blowback or a constriction. So what is your take on that when we have those times that we're wanting to really move through a change or initiate a change, and we start to take 2 steps and then boom, we're pushed back, or we have the rug kind of pulled out from under us? I don't know.
I feel like that happens sometimes when we get a little bit ahead of ourselves. And it can be a couple of things: an opportunity to ground in the moment and say, okay, take it one step at a time. And then sometimes you're moving forward and the universe gives you an "are you sure?"
Oh,
message. that is a reminder of your old pattern that helps you ultimately affirm, yes, I do want to make this change, so I'm going to handle this situation differently than I would have in the past.
Okay. So it could be like an instant test. It's like you just got done with your intention and so here is the test of, are you sure?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I didn't think of it that way. I'm still, for myself personally, I'm still percolating with whatever message this is. If it's any deeper than that, or if it's, okay, are you really wanting to move ahead this way? I'm talking about my own situation here with the rear-endedness. Okay, Rob, do we have any other comments to put on the board? Lisa says, I didn't realize how much I could love till I lost her. Thank you, ladies.
Yeah.
Ooh. And that is your Facebook handle?
My Instagram handle.
Instagram handle. Okay. Okay. So do you like to do videos on Instagram?
I don't do videos on Instagram.
Okay.
Probably a good idea, but I save my videos for my show.
Yeah, that's good. Good stuff. Awesome stuff. What do we have next? Oh, yes. Announcement. Drum roll, please. Yes, I am hosting an online class in September. And it's all about your karmic communication blueprint. So we are all born with an innate communicator within us. And how important is that? Well, we want to create in our lives, and we want to put our intentions into being, into practice. So we need to communicate them in our own minds, in our lives, and then out into the world to enact the changes that we want to make. And so this class gives us the opportunity to really understand what makes up our own internal communicator, because it's often it's not one thing. we've got lots of pieces of us that need to work together. And so it's learning about our own internal communicator so that we can better communicate with others, because these pieces need to align in ourselves, also in the spouse, in the best friend, in the son or daughter, in the boss. And we might be thinking, I've said green 100 bazillion quadrillion times, and this person keeps saying yellow. Why are we not getting this? So it's about the alignment of the inner communicator. And speaking of communication, I've talked to you about this before. Can you tell us from the angelic perspective about positive communication and good relational communication? Who is our angel that we can ask to help us do that? While you're doing that, I've got to plug in my computer because I've got the big thing that says, oh, you're running low.
Uh-oh.
So tell us who's our communicator.
Sure. So the two angels that I call on to assist with communication are Gabriel and Raguel. So Gabriel I call on when I'm going to do speaking. Like before I came on the show, I did a quick meditation and asked for Gabriel to be present to help the words flow. So I also call on Gabriel when I am going to do writing, when I write my monthly column, or if I need to write a precise email. I call on Gabriel to help find the words. And then Raguel is my go-to for harmonious communication with others. So whenever people are trying to communicate personality to personality, there can be challenges. So what Raguel does is helps to take it to the higher level. So the two higher selves are communicating, which makes it easier for people to hear each other through the lens of love. And Raguel softens the energy between two people. Very, very helpful.
You know, what I'm doing now in my regular 9 to 5 world is dealing with unhappy people. All of my communications are with people who are not happy about something going on.
Mm-hmm.
So every morning before I log on to my work computer, I do ask Archangel Raguel to stand behind me.
Nice.
And really allow me to see through his eyes what someone is saying, so that I can best understand in the highest way, the most positive way, and then to respond in the way that would be more conducive to a positive interaction. Even though I'm just doing writing, I'm not engaged verbally with anybody, so I don't have any altercations, which is really good. But that I can read the words and understand where that person is coming from, and why there is the frustration, why is there the upset, or really what is the core of the problem. Because sometimes there are a bunch of words, but we don't know what's going on. Some people kind of have a challenge with that. So I asked for Raguel to stand right behind me and help show me what I need to know about this situation so that I can address it positively and with love. So that's another gift that you have given me from the angels.
I'm glad. And I'm sure it makes your day easier knowing that someone has your back and someone's guiding you. So it doesn't take as much mental effort for you to field these communications, because you know that you're being guided, as is the other person.
Yes, absolutely. Definitely. And I'm seeing in the chat here, Cindy is asking, how do you spell the second angel's name? Okay, Rob's got it up there. Raguel. Raguel. And just a quick recap on the communication angels: Gabriel for communicating, getting the message out, and Raguel for the way I think of it as kind of smoothing the pathway of communication. Okay. Awesome. Do we have any other comments and shares from our peeps in the chat? Meow, mama. Okay. She's saying yes. Meow, meow. Meow. Anybody else? Okay, that must be it right now. This is the new moon of Cancer. And I want to invite everyone to think about what a new moon does, what a new moon is. In the sky, it's literally when the sun and the moon come together. I think of it as grandfather sun and grandmother moon. They just kind of canoodle on the couch together, and they're so focused on each other that the rest of the world can do what the rest of the world does. It's just they're focused on each other. And that is the time when we can then focus on ourselves more intently, that we can really go within and discover our intention and plant those seeds, because the seeds are planted in the dark, and with the light they grow. So the new moon in Cancer, intentions and planting seeds of Cancer concern home, family, lineage, your roots, where you come from. Your self-nurturing and what makes you feel nurtured. Self-care, that's a big one. Also has to do with mothers and mothering and caring for and working on the home. So with me, I've been in Cancer mode all week long with the ceiling fan and really kind of getting my bedroom all just, the way I wanted it to be. And then finding those old journals and saying, okay, I want to release that old energy because I want to have new intentions for my home. So I invite you to think about some of those intentions, what they would be for you. And you don't have to do any kind of big ceremony, but just maybe reflect on those intentions for yourself. And if you like to do a small ceremony, maybe a write and burn, write out some intentions and then burn them, alchemize them. Cancer is a water sign, so I always love those Epsom salt bubble baths to really soak with that. Yeah. So Maureen, with a new moon intention, how do you celebrate that with the angels? What angels do you work with for like a new moon, setting new intentions?
Archangel Haniel is affiliated with the moon, and her name is Grace of God, and she helps with balancing emotions and sensitivities and femininity. So I always call on her with anything moon related. And so I'll light a candle, call on her and Archangel Michael, Archangel Nathaniel, because he heralds big changes. And then I'll write out exactly what you said. I'll write it out. And then if it's a nice night like tonight, I'll go outside and have a little chat with the angels that I mentioned and release to them what my intentions are and burn it under the night sky.
Awesome. Awesome. So we have Haniel.
Yep.
And Rob, can you put that up? How do you spell that?
Haniel.
Okay. Okay. And then we have
and then Michael for the confidence and courage.
Okay.
And Nathaniel to blaze the path forward.
Woohoo!
And, yes.
There we go. Haniel, Michael, and Nathaniel. I love this. We're getting a dose of angel therapy here tonight. I love it. Hey. Hey. So we are at the top of the hour, and I'm just blown away by how much you have given us here this evening and how open you've been in sharing your story. And I so appreciate you taking an evening to be part of Cosmic Conversations. And thank you all out here for tuning in live to Facebook Be.Live session or YouTube Live now or in the archives. So thank you from my heart to yours. Om Tat Sat. I am that I am, as you go forward into this evening, into this wonderful new moon. May you be affirming of your own I am. So thank you again, Maureen, and thank you, Star Nations community. Good night.